Look, I'm not going to complain about being in a relationship. I love my girlfriend. She's literally the greatest. But man, Twilight, I might as well end my channel now. There's no way I'm going to top this one. The infamous series that was the subject of so much ridicule, parodies, and sweaty nerdy guys talking about how bad of a romance it was. You know, because they're the experts. I've injected all 5 movies into my brain where they will now stay and impact my mindset in some minor way for the rest of my natural-born life. And the verdict is, these movies were just about what I was expecting. In fact, I'd say that the Twilight series isn't as offensively bad as all of the jokes and parodies made it out to be. Like, they're still bad, don't get me wrong, but I wasn't like, oh, this is torture the whole time. Okay, I might have been that way during New Moon, but the rest not as much. Alright, let's just get to it. Twilight, I can't believe I'm doing a video on this. Twilight is a series of novels written by Stephenie Meyer, that weird girl that always sat alone during lunch in high school. That might have been a mean joke, but she's the one with a successful book series, and all I've got is a shitty YouTube channel, so really she should be apologizing to me. The first novel, simply titled Twilight, was released on October 5th, 2005. The film adaptation wouldn't be released until November 21st, 2008, and by that point the New Moon and Eclipse novels had already been out for a while. The original book was popular upon release, even became a New York Times bestseller, so the film naturally was a hit, grossing $35.7 million on its opening day, and over $400 million during its entire theatrical run. This grossed over $400 million. Due to its success, the following 3 books got turned into films as well, which also made a fuck ton of money. The sequel, New Moon, being of note since it beat out the original film's $35.7 million opening day with a whopping $72.7 million opening day. And New Moon is the fucking worst one too, what the hell? This whole series grossed over $3 billion. $3 billion. I mean, I guess all the publicity the series got, both positive with its target audience and negative with all the parodies and constant digs at it, it's actually not surprising it was so popular. I'm guilty of going to see some films in theaters as a joke, so I'm sure at least some percentage of that $3 billion could be attributed to that mindset. But let's face the facts. These films may not be good, but they must have done something right to trick people into thinking they were. So let's break it down. The first Twilight, I can't believe I haven't backed out of this yet, film follows Bella Swan, played by Kristen Stewart, just your average moody teenager who moves into the small town of Forks, Washington to live with her father, Charlie, played by Billy Burke, who is no joke the best character in this entire series. Like, man, he's trying so hard to be a good dad, and with him being so out of the loop with the whole vampire werewolf thing, he ends up being the most sympathetic character in this series.
Bella, come on, I just got your back.
Yeah, and you know, if I don't get out now, then I'm just gonna be stuck here like Mom.
What the fuck? He's trying his best. Just tell her you're being chased by vampires or something. Jesus Christ. Bella's adjusting to her new high school life with some new friends when suddenly, he appears. Whoa, save me some of those eggs, bro. Bella meets Edward Cullen, played by Robert Pattinson, who looks like he's gonna throw up here. Are you okay, dude? Bella encounters Edward a few times after this. One moment of note where he stops a moving car that's about to hit her. Like, dude, red flag right there. This guy's a monster. Bella does some research and concludes that Edward is indeed a vampire. After confronting him about this, Edward's just like, yeah, and he begins telling her all of his family's vampire secrets and stuff. Okay, so one of the biggest complaints about the Twilight series is that the vampire mythology is all wrong. I mean, you got some stuff that's pretty par for the course, right? The vampires do indeed drink human blood, but they can also drink animal blood that just makes them weaker, I guess? And when they're thirsty, their eyes go black, and when they get all full up, they're either red with the human blood or they're yellow with the animal blood, so I guess their eyes are kind of like a fuel gauge? They also have super speed and super strength, which I guess is pretty common in vampire mythologies. But one of the biggest ones people like to point out is that the vampires don't die in the sun here, but they do sparkle, which, yeah, is lame, but I'll defend it since the idea is that the sparkling makes them look more attractive to lure in more potential prey. Will this actually work? No, but apparently this is why all the vampires are hot and stuff. Does that mean ugly people can't be vampires? I don't know, Stephenie Meyer might have had a hard time accepting black people being vampires, so who knows? Anyways, the only way to kill a vampire is to rip them apart and burning the body, which later they kind of get lazy and just decapitate them and burn the body. Vampires don't need to sleep, they don't age, and apparently they all have some shonen anime-esque superpower. Edward can read people's minds, not Bella's though, because she's a Mary Sue. Edward's sister Alice can see visions of the future, but the future can change, so it's more of a y'all better change something or else kind of power. That's all well and good, but look at Rami Malek's character in the last film. He can control the elements. What the fuck? That's cooler than being able to be a mind reader. I want a movie about this guy. But finally, the number one thing most people agree is stupid aside from the sparkling, it's the venom. Vampirism is spread through venom. Again, I get why. One, it's to explain how one turns into a vampire, as if that needed to be explained. And two, they needed the scene where Bella gets bit and they gotta stop her from turning into a vampire. Regardless of that, yeah, vampire venom is dumb. I get wanting to explain everything, but what's wrong with leaving a little bit of a supernatural element to vampirism? I'm pretty sure they never explain how werewolves work later on, but I'm getting ahead of myself there. Edward and Bella become a couple, and the rest of the series expands on their relationship. Yeah, well actually it more focuses on this will they won't they love triangle between Edward, Bella, and the werewolf boy Jacob Black, played by Taylor Lautner, because the second movie starts with Edward being like, look man, I don't want you falling down any more stairs, and fucks off to Italy. So Bella has fucking night terrors every night, like what? Bella starts hanging out with Jacob, who gets into the werewolf club during the movie, and they like make it seem like they might be a thing, but Bella keeps throwing herself into danger just so she can see Edward's force ghost. Okay? Jacob decides that he and Bella should be a thing. Then Alice, Edward's sister, shows up randomly and is like, yo, you okay? I saw a vision. Then Jacob answers the phone and is like, Charlie's arranging a funeral. Because I guess that was Edward, which makes him, without contacting anyone else, assume Bella is dead and decides he's gonna show everyone he's a vampire so they will kill him. You really gonna act like you didn't leave Bella in Forks all by herself as if that was the safest option for her when you knew the wolf boys were there? I get it, Romeo and Juliet. The movie had a scene of them watching it in class at the start as foreshadowing. Am I saying Shakespeare was dumb too? Maybe. Whatever, Bella goes to Italy with Alice. This part I actually kind of like because visually it looks cool. She stops Edward from committing Italian suicide. They go back home and Jacob's like, she loved me too! The third film, Eclipse, continues this will they won't they bullshit even after Bella agrees to marry Edward. But the film focuses a little bit more on the actual threat that has been coming for Bella ever since the first film. Okay, so in the first film, Edward took Bella out to play baseball with his family when 3 human-sucking vampires showed up and discovered the human Bella with them. One of the evil vampires, James, decides to chase down Bella, leading to his death at the hands of the Cullens, which causes Victoria, one of the other evil vampires, to vow revenge as James was her boo. In New Moon, Victoria shows up for all of like 1 or 2 scenes in which she has no lines, she just gets chased off and has almost nothing to do with the plot. Oh, and the third of those evil vampires, Laurent, gets axed off in New Moon. To Stephanie Meyer's glee, I'd imagine. In Eclipse, Victoria turns some guy into a vampire so he can make a vampire army to go after the Cullens, to which they fail and Victoria gets killed. Breaking Dawn Part 1. Bella and Edward get married, Jacob is mad, and the newlyweds go on a honeymoon where they fuck a whole lot, but uh-oh, Bella's pregnant. Apparently female vampires can't get pregnant, but male vampires can get human girls pregnant? So we get vampire sperm, but no vampire eggs. Okay. Turns out a vampire-human hybrid isn't very good for you as it's not only growing rapidly, but will literally kill Bella during labor. Despite all that, Bella still wants to have the baby. This is what being pro-life does to people. Bella gives birth and they shoot her up with vampire venom before she died, so the movie ends with her waking up as a vampire. Breaking Dawn Part 2. Bella is now a vampire and her and Edward's daughter is still growing at a rapid... Oh my god, what is up with that CGI? Who thought this looked good? Why did they do this? The kid's name is Renesmee. It's, the mixing of Bella and Edward's mother's names, Renee and Esme. Stephanie, you're writing, dude. While Bella's learning about being a vampire, another vampire sees Renesmee and reports her to the Volturi. These guys were introduced in New Moon, and man, I really like these guys. They look like classic vampires, which is always fun, and they're all cartoonishly over the top in their own ways. Especially the leader, Aro, played by Michael Sheen. Every scene he's in is always a joy. So, what were the Cullens reported for? Making an immortal child, of course. See, this is illegal in the vampire world because vampires don't age, so by making a child a vampire, you have a ticking time bomb that could kill hundreds just because of a tantrum. So what do our protagonists do? Do they contact the Volturi to tell them what's going on? No, they get an army of characters more interesting than them to fight the Volturi. Once the Volturi do show up, they discover that Renesmee is a human-vampire hybrid, to which they're like, oh cool, still weird. And we get an admittedly pretty cool fight scene where major characters get killed off, only for that whole scene to have been a vision from Alice. Boo! Oh, thank God Carlisle's still alive. Boo! So what convinces the Volturi to not attack? Deus Ex Machina, in the form of another hybrid, this anomaly that even the head of the Vampire Council from the 1300s had not encountered before. They just found another one. And not only that, he says that he reached maturity at the age of 7 and stopped growing. Answers that for Renesmee. And get this, he can survive on blood or human food. So why did Bella have to drink human blood to satiate the baby in the last film? Whatever, the Volturi say okay and leave, and Bella lives happily ever after with her new family and vampirism. And Charlie still has no idea what's going on. Good job, Bella. What a great daughter you turned out to be. So I think the number one problem with this series is that the major characters we follow are the least interesting out of all of them. And that's not completely at fault of the writing either. The acting is like so wooden. And I know these are good actors. Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson are good actors. I've seen them in better roles. It really is just that these characters are boring. Edward's whole family is more interesting than he is, even if one of them has an interesting choice of background. I never really felt like I wanted Bella to end up happy early on, and that's because she would either be really boring or really stupid. By Eclipse, I feel like I was just used to how boring these characters are, and once Breaking Dawn made them at least slightly more likable with some fun scenes, like when Bella finds out Jacob imprinted on Renesmee, she's all, "You imprinted on my daughter!
You imprinted on my daughter?
You nicknamed my daughter!"
You nicknamed my daughter after the Loch Ness Monster?
It felt like an accomplishment, something most films make standard. The odd story choices also are a downer for me. I just mentioned how Jacob imprints on Bella and Edward's newborn baby, and Jacob claims imprinting isn't by default a romantic thing, so it would be more like a godfather-guardian sort of thing. But why is Alice's last vision in Breaking Dawn Part 2 showing a grown-up Renesmee resting her head on Jacob's shoulder all romantic-like? Not romantic my ass, this is like a reverse version of that 5,000-year-old dragon girl thing.
So should I start calling you Dad?
That's not the only weird choice here. Why did Edward have to leave Bella in New Moon? Why did the one chick instantly report the Cullens without talking to them? Why did they kill Loran off screen when he was the only interesting villain from the original movie? Why did Bella never at any point try to talk to her father when shit was getting bad? Why did Bella have powers before becoming a vampire? Why did they string along the Team Jacob, Team Edward shit for so long when it was clear that Bella wanted Edward? Why did Bella have to drink human blood if one of the hybrids said he can live off human food? Why did Edward not turn Bella into a vampire for so long? Why not make Bella more afraid to become a vampire to make it not as dumb when she doesn't turn until 5 movies in? I hate this. Like, I can see the bones of something enjoyable. I don't mind the mythology. I like the Volturi. I don't even hate that it revolves around a romance, but everything just doesn't work. Most problems are self-made and get solved with little to no sacrifice, causing the happily ever after ending to feel kind of undeserved. And look, I can dig a cute romance. I wanted to like Bella and Edward's relationship, but it never felt believable. Therefore, once they start having weird vampire sex, I just don't care. If I'm being completely 100% honest, I think the only film that I would consider even close to good would be the first film. Hell, I'll even say I kinda liked it to some degree. Sure, the acting is really wooden and the pace is god-awful slow, but I did kinda like this weird look it had to it with the green filter and everything. The soundtrack was nice, and all the characters felt more genuine in this film than they would later on. There were a couple of fun scenes in this movie. I even believed the romance more in this film than I would in the later ones. Then again, I'm probably only saying that in hindsight because the rest of the movies are just they're so bad. The fact of the matter is, though, these are movies that many people enjoy unironically. Are they stupid for liking them? Well, of course not. Just because I or anyone have complaints with something you like doesn't mean you have to feel bad for liking it. Entertainment is subjective. Nobody can stop anyone from liking something, even if there is factual evidence to something not working. That being said, criticism is important in this industry, mainly because if someone doesn't know they're doing something wrong, they won't stop doing it. Same goes for media. There literally can't be any improvement to anything if nobody points out what's wrong. I've never liked the let people enjoy things statement because of my view on criticism, so I think the number one takeaway from the Twilight Saga is coexistence. People will like this series, people won't, and that's okay. There are real problems with this series, but people like it despite that, or don't even think there are any problems with it, and that's okay. Chances are someone thinks your favorite series has problems. Would that stop you from liking it? Of course not, you just have to respect that opinion, offer yours, and move on. There's nothing wrong with people enjoying this messy, weirdly paced, not at all well put together series. And that's because to them, maybe it's not that. Can I be done now? I seriously never want to watch another one of these movies ever again. I gotta play something like... fuck. Scene at Twilight was released in 2009 for the...